Hi, Heather Dennis here. In my classes in the last month that I've been teaching online, one of the things that's really difficult for people is bearing weight through their hands and wrists. You'll see people, they get, the wrist gets sore and then they're doing this afterwards and they're really getting a lot of problems in our wrists. Well, our wrists aren't, unless we do a yoga practice or a Pilates practice and we've been bearing weight through our hands and wrists for a while, we're just not conditioned to do it. And some of the things we think that, stretching is a good thing, but no, what we need is strength. We need strength in the hand, we need strength in the wrist. And what I'd like to do is suggest a couple of things you can try, you can do on your own, so that you're not, doing downward dog and saying, my wrists, I can't do that, my wrists are too weak. Well, your wrists get weak because you don't load them. And the wrists are sort of the third area of the body that after the hip joint and the spine, thoracic spine, that fractures in people as they get older. So the more you can load your bones, the stronger they're going to be. It's just physics. Anyway, some people can't because they don't make bone cells, but for most of us, if we load them, they get stronger. The first thing I'd like to say is that if you get a ball, some kind of a tennis ball, any kind of a ball, just take it and squeeze it. You can have it in the car. We aren't doing much driving these days, but in the car, sitting watching TV, whatever, and just squeeze the ball, squeeze and hold. So what that does is it fires up all the muscles in my forearm. So part of this wrist weakness is weakness in the muscles of the forearm and weakness in the muscles of all of the arm right up into the neck. So you squeeze and hold for 30 seconds, and you work up to holding for a minute. Then you can practice pressing like your thumb tip into it and holding. So you can go through each finger. So I'm not going to do this in the amount of time it's going to take, but you get the idea. You're pressing each finger, and you'll find the little finger may be really weak, and we need to create more strength through the outer line of the arm up into the back of the shoulder. It's an area that gets weaker as we get older. So that's one good way of creating hand strength. There's also these sorts of things, which I've picked up all kinds of. Every time I travel and I see one in a junk shop, I buy one. They're good things. We need to have a strong grip. Now, the other thing, if you're having a hard time doing downward dog or 4-point kneeling, a good way of addressing that is to use yoga blocks. So the first, you're not going to see my face in this because I can't video my hands and my face at the same time. So my face is going to leave and my hands are going to stay. So for downward dog, or even 4-point kneeling where people have a hard time with their wrists, maybe you do, you can take yoga blocks and just put your hands, the base of your hand up. So this is a relatively unloaded position for the hands. Now there's a little bit of a balance challenge here for when you go up into downward dog, but it's easier on the wrists. Okay, that's number one. Number two would be to put them lower and just put the base of your hand and let your knuckles come over. So that puts less strain than having your fingers long. So having your fingers long is a more of a load through your arms. It's a longer lever, so it puts more stress. So that you can do for your 4-point kneeling or downward dog. That's right, there we go. And then the third thing that you can do is to learn how to use your hand so that you have more strength for your hand. And the interesting thing about the hand is that it has an arch, it has arches in it just like the foot. And a lot of what we are sort of taught is to push our whole hand down into the floor, to spread our fingers. And we've got little bones in the hand that at the base of the wrist that need to be gathered together. And if we were to think of our hand like our foot and approach it that way, that's an interesting look, those things coming out of my head. But if we were to think about it like the foot, a way you could think about using your hand that's a little different and activate some different stuff is to press your fingertips down into the ground. Press those right underneath the nails. Lift that first joint up. So you're putting a little bend in that first finger joint. And you're going to pull the mat towards the base of your hand. I have to fix my elbows there. It's good for me to film myself and see what's going on. So I'm pulling my fingers towards the base of my hand. And it's creating a little bit of lift underneath the palm of my hand, and that's good. Now, from there, I'm going to push through the base of my hand and press down into the ground and push the floor away from me. So I'm pushing my mat away from me as I pull my fingertips in towards the base of my hand. So there's a couple of things going on. I have to correct that right elbow there. You see how it wants to flop around. It's not very stable. Anyway, so once you get this really nice position, you can hold that and think of you're almost squeezing a ball underneath the hand here like we were before, but you're bearing weight through your arm. So all the muscles in the arm from the hand up through the forearm and into the upper arm are active. So you can take this into your 4-point kneeling, into your plank, into your dog pose, and it will probably over time really help you get stronger through your wrists and more resilient there, so you're not complaining that these positions are hurting your wrists. I hope this helps you, and I hope to see you soon. Take care and have a wonderful